Welcome to Treadmill Talks with Shannon Maves, a podcast for athletes and fitness enthusiasts to pass the time during mind-numbing cardio while I use my no-bullshit coaching style to educate, inspire, and entertain. I'm your host, Shannon Maves. Now let's walk and talk. Hello, and welcome to episode 37 of Treadmill Talks, the one where we shut the fuck up. Okay, the title of this episode is slightly aggressive and somewhat vague, but I promise I do actually have a topic for discussion today. I'm not just yelling at everybody to shut the fuck up. I'm just yelling at some people who need to shut the fuck up about a certain topic. Well, technically, I suppose this covers a couple of topics, but they both kind of coincide. What I'm referring to is making comments about what someone eats or doesn't eat, or making comments about someone's physical appearance. I purposely chose to release this episode this week because, well, Thanksgiving is in just 2 days. Of course, I thought about making an episode about being thankful or whatnot, but I kind of already did that in my episode a while back about counting our blessings. So instead, I said, fuck it. I'm going to be feisty this week because for some fucking reason, Thanksgiving is a day where a lot of people suddenly feel like they have the authority to make comments about their loved one's food choices and or physical appearance. These comments can range from, is that all you're going to eat? Please go back for seconds. Thanksgiving is 1 day. Why don't you chill out and live a little? All the way to the opposite end of the judgmental food choices spectrum. Oh my God, are you seriously going to eat all of that? Wow, you're really going back for another plate, huh? Guess you're not dieting today, are you? Fuck all of you. Sorry, that was aggressive again. But seriously though, shut the fuck up. Yes, Thanksgiving is 1 day, and no, it isn't going to completely derail your progress, but whether or not you choose to indulge or stay on track with your nutrition is up to you, nobody else. Making comments like this to someone can potentially affect them a lot more psychologically than you might realize. Let's do a for instance. Imagine you have been silently struggling with anorexia, bulimia, or any other form of restrictive eating. But you've been really working hard to improve your relationship with food. And you finally got to a place where you feel okay with letting yourself enjoy the holidays without restriction this year. But then your super judgy mother-in-law starts making comments about how she can't believe how much you're eating. Well, that can trigger feelings of guilt and shame that might set back your recovery. Or maybe you've been struggling with overeating on a regular basis. Perhaps it's due to emotional or stress eating, or maybe you tend to overindulge when there is free food. Or you struggle to say no to those seasonal treats because you start to develop this scarcity mindset and view it as if it were almost like your last supper. But you've been doing a lot of internal work, and you've made the conscious decision to say no to the booze or the dessert or the side dish that usually sends you spiraling out of control. But here comes your concerned grandmother asking why you aren't eating more and making you feel guilty for saying no to the dish that has been passed down her family for generations and is only served once per year. Well, fuck, Grandma. Way to guilt me into it. Guess today's gonna be another binge. Hi, it's me. I'm the for instance in both of these scenarios. I've changed some of the people and details so as not to personally offend anybody in my family, but I have been shamed for not eating enough, and I've been shamed for eating too much. By the same fucking people, too. Like, I'm sorry, what? How come last year you were so concerned about me passing on dessert, but this year, you're shaming me for going back for seconds. There have been times in the past where those types of comments got to me. A lot. In fact, now that I'm older and have talked to a few therapists, I've realized how some of those comments have affected my eating habits as an adult. But I'm not here to make this episode all about my baggage. My point is, those seemingly harmless comments can do a lot of emotional damage for some people. And this is coming from a coach who isn't afraid to tell people to suck it the fuck up and deal with their shit. I'm all for tough love. And I'm not the kind of person who gets offended super easily or feels the need to cancel anything that goes against my beliefs. But I do think that we can all use the reminder from time to time to be a little bit more mindful and intentional with our words. So this Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, or whatever other holidays you're going to be celebrating, just let people eat what they're going to eat and keep your thoughts to yourself, okay? That goes for every other day of the year too, not just holidays. But like I said, the upcoming holidays are why I chose to release this episode now. Because this tends to be the time of year I start having more of these conversations with my clients. However, the conversations I'm having with them aren't usually ones about how they need to shut the fuck up, but rather how they can deal with these types of comments. And the way you navigate these situations is going to depend highly on your individual personality, as well as your relationship with the person who made the comments, which makes it somewhat challenging for me to give advice like this in a single podcast episode, because every person and every situation is so different. But maybe you can use it as a chance to speak up and defend yourself for once. Or perhaps it's a good opportunity to finally explain to your family everything you've been quietly going through. Or maybe you can practice being the bigger person and biting your tongue and realize that oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes, the comments that someone makes about you are stemming from their own insecurities. Let that one sink in for a second. I'm actually going to go ahead and repeat it. Oftentimes, the judgmental comments that someone makes about you stem from their own insecurities. Maybe they're commenting about how restrictive you're being because deep down, they wish they had more self-control around food. Or maybe they're jealous of you for being okay with eating so much food because they have a restrictive mindset around food. You never really know what's going on in a person's head, even if they're your family. Sure, you might be close, but I'm going to bet that there's shit you don't even tell your loved ones. So what makes you think you know everything about them? Anyway, the other topic I wanted to touch on that is along the same lines is when people make comments about someone's physical appearance. I think this actually happens even more during the holidays than the comments about eating habits, because the holidays are when we see a lot of people that we only see once per year, and a lot of shit can change in a year. While it might seem pretty obvious that most of us don't really want to hear shit like, well, you've sure put on some healthy weight this year, haven't you? Or, I guess you're not going to be competing anytime soon now, are you? Sometimes weight gain can be a good thing for a person, though. Maybe they're recovering from their restrictive eating habits and their mindset around food is actually the healthiest it's ever been. Or maybe they did choose not to compete to get their hormones healthier, and they've found that they're actually a lot happier and stronger when they aren't lean as fuck. Whatever the reason, sometimes weight gain is a positive thing, but you still don't need to comment on it. Unless maybe you know that the person was trying to gain weight. Then maybe congratulations could be in order. But definitely don't shame someone for gaining weight, especially if you don't know their situation. On the other hand, though, a lot of times we consider it a compliment to make a comment about somebody losing weight. Oh, wow. How much weight have you lost? Ooh, you look so skinny. But I've seen the pain in some people's eyes when they get comments like this, because a lot of people lose weight when they are overly stressed or severely ill. And a lot of people don't openly talk about that shit. Congratulating somebody on their weight loss who is chronically undereating is only going to perpetuate their disordered eating habits because you are rewarding those restrictive behaviors. But if you know that a person is undereating, don't shame them for their weight either. Just do what the title of this episode says and shut the fuck up. Instead, try talking to the person. Ask them how things have been going. Maybe they'll willingly open up to you about their food habits or their weight fluctuations. Then you can congratulate them or offer help or whatever they need. As a coach, this is a tactic I use a lot because a lot of times people expect me to make a comment about their weight loss or something. But if I don't know their situation, then I don't say shit. Once I do know for sure that, okay, yes, they have been trying to lose weight, then I will be fully transparent and say something along the lines of, I didn't want to say anything at first because I wasn't totally sure what was going on, but I definitely noticed that you've dropped some weight. What have you been doing? You look great. But let's say you just feel really inclined to give somebody a compliment when you see them for the first time in a long time. Tell them you like their outfit or their hairstyle or their makeup or something. But don't congratulate them on something like being skinny. Fuck, that one gets me so much actually, because I struggle to put on size. And I've had people tell me I'm skinny thinking it's a compliment. Meanwhile, I'm in my head like, God damn it, what the fuck? I've been trying to put on size for so long and I'm still skinny? And they're just like, cha-la-la-la-la, I am so nice giving people compliments. But again, if you're in a situation like this where someone makes a comment about your physical appearance, just remember that to them, it was probably a compliment. Or if they make a snide comment about the way you look, remember that it's probably stemming out of their own insecurities. There are a lot of dickheads out there that feel they need to tear people down in order to try to make themselves feel superior. And I can't help but think what a miserable life that must be. Now, all of this being said, I do want to remind you guys that I am not a psychologist or a medical professional of any kind, but I just want to remind you to maybe watch what you say around people, especially this time of year. And I also want you to try not to take things too personally if comments are made towards you. Again, you can use it as an opportunity to stand up for yourself, set boundaries, explain whatever is going on, or you can use it as a chance to try to let things roll off your back. Whatever you look like this holiday season, it is beautiful and perfect for whatever phase of your journey that you are on right now. If you want to adhere to your nutrition plan over the holidays because that's what will make you feel happy and proud and successful, then do whatever you need to do to feel happy and proud and successful. But if you want to indulge a bit and drink some wine or eat a giant piece of pie or go back for seconds of the dish that has been passed down your family for generations, then fucking enjoy yourself. In 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, you aren't going to look back at this Thanksgiving and remember what the scale said. You honestly won't really even remember everything you did or didn't eat or drink either. But you will remember the time you spent with your loved ones. So make it a good time. Thank you for listening to Treadmill Talks. If this episode taught you something, lit a fire under your ass, or at least helped you forget how long you've been walking in place, please leave a review or take a screenshot to share on your social media. Don't forget to tag me @Shannon Maves so I can give you some love right back. And thanks again for listening to my Treadmill Talk.